Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. You guys, I don't cover politics on this channel, but to me, this is really not politics. I mean, this is just human decency. Charlie Kirk was shot earlier today. I do see people, Destiny, reporting that. I'm going to hold off until I see some credible media outlet report that he has passed. So I'm going to wait till I see that. And listen, media might be posting that because for the past few minutes, I've just been focused on this. So we're going to get into it. Also, Alicia, as I was preparing for this, I got an alert that there was also an active shooter at a school where 2 people have been shot, unfortunately. But for those that don't know who Charlie Kirk is, Charlie Kirk is an American conservative activist. He's an author, commentator. He's best known for being the founder and the president of Turning Point USA. There's so many people under him at this point. He has this big business where he employs a lot of people, a lot of creators on YouTube work for him with Turning Point USA. And Turning Point USA is a political organization that focuses on engaging young people in conservative politics, especially on college campuses. He is known for going to college campuses specifically, and we're going to get into this, you guys. We're going to see what any updates there are. Last I heard, he was in critical condition, but I watched the video, and this just comes with trigger warning. He was shot in the neck. I watched the video. I watched several far away, up close, and the up close video, I really don't even know. It looked like he may have been shot he was shot like right here. And yeah, like in his main artery. It looks like he could have potentially the man, they did arrest someone, and I'm assuming the suspect was arrested. I'm not going to go so far as to say the man that did it was arrested because I'm not sure. But to continue, Charlie Kirk frequently appears on television, podcasts, and at conservative events to discuss issues like free markets, limited governments, and cultural topics. He also is a close ally of former and current President Donald Trump, and often promotes populist and right-leaning viewpoints. So yeah, he's a conservative activist, media personality who started Turning Point USA, and he's really known for, he's really known for kind of swaying. When Trump won the presidency, a lot of people credited Charlie Kirk with hitting up those college campuses and swaying a lot of left-leaning, Democrats towards Charlie Kirk. So I will say the picture that I have on my thumbnail is who was arrested. Whether or not he is the shooter, I'm not sure. But we're going to get into some videos. So KSL, we're going to watch KSL real quick. And as we're watching KSL, I'm going to see if I can find any update. The guy arrested is not him. Okay.
Speaker. Police are investigating now. They do have a suspect in custody. We can tell you political analyst Charlie Kirk was there speaking today. We have a witness joining us on the phone. This is Taylor Birmingham from the campus of UVU. Taylor was there as the shot was.
Also, I do want to say in this video, I do think they play the shooting. So if you don't want to see what happened, you might want to not watch. I am looking to see if there's anything stating that he is deceased. I don't see anything stating deceased yet.
It's fired.
Hopefully at all, because nobody deserves to die over their political views, unless your views are that kids, if you believe in pedophilia, and there's literally, people that believe that they call it something. But there's people that believe that dating minors, and so that's a different story. But something like just political views, that this is wild.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Tell us what you saw, what you experienced today.
It was just shortly after he had started his second speech. Everything was going great. Everyone was, getting along and happy and everything. And then we just heard one shot. It didn't sound like it was a very high caliber. It sounded like a smaller one. But my wife immediately fell, but I saw him, and he definitely got shot. It looked like roughly in between his neck and like his collarbone area, or somewhere in the neck.
Taylor,
what it looked like, but there was a lot of blood.
Taylor, can you set up the scene for us inside the arena where that speech was taking place? as this was happening? What can you tell us about what was going on around you?
Everything was great. Everybody was getting along, and there was two crowds there that were from a different perspective or view that were screaming and yelling a lot. But besides that, everybody was getting along. It was great. I mean, we all love Charlie. He's amazing.
What happened immediately after you heard that sound? I imagine it was pretty chaotic.
It was.
And I do want to say, because like all of this is unfolding, there's going to be news that comes out as anytime something's unfolding. When this stuff happens, we might get something wrong. Someone was arrested, and because that picture came out of someone being arrested, I'm assuming everybody assumed this was the suspect. Someone has been arrested, but now I see you guys are saying it's not the shooter. So I'm going to try to keep my eye out for that.
Very chaotic, yeah. The biggest fear was my wife at first, but there was a whole lot of just fear and sadness, and
Sure.
mass
Sure.
destruction. I guess everybody just freaking out, trying to take care of their own, and we're all trying to help everyone else. Everybody hunkered together and we got out of there safe. So.
And I'm sorry, Taylor, was it an outdoor event?
Yes, it was.
It was an outdoor event. We're looking now at video posted on social media. You can feel the chaos that Taylor described. We're talking to Taylor Birmingham. He was one of those spectators in the audience with his wife when shots were fired and chaos ensued.
Taylor, tell us about how many people do you think were there for this speech, for this event outdoors?
Oh, there were hundreds. Like he even mentioned, it's one of his biggest crowds. I would say there was at least 2,000 to 3,000, maybe more.
But a couple of times you've referenced sort of a calm atmosphere. We know there was some controversy surrounding this particular event, this speaker specifically, but you described the crowd as pretty well mannered up to this point.
Absolutely, yeah. Besides, there was a couple of groups that were not well mannered at all, and any topic or anything that was brought up, they were shouting like "F Charlie," and they were shouting, like anything against any religion or anything. They were screaming and yelling and booing.
Did you notice a significant police presence?
Police presence?
Yeah, during the speech, during the event.
Yeah. The police were absolutely amazing during this. They were absolutely incredible and jumped right into action. I say thanks to every one of them.
And Taylor, as this event was going on, or prior to him, to the speaker coming on and giving the talk, was there any mention about security or conduct, anything like that?
I don't. Not that we kind of came in like right as it was starting, so I guess we wouldn't have heard any of that. But.
And you said the two groups that got a little unruly. Do you know where they were located? It seems you were facing the stage. The crowd was facing the stage, and it was a large group. It was a large crowd. Could you tell where those?
I changed my title to say "suspect arrested." I'm taking that down, and I'm trying to change my thumbnail as we listen to this, you guys, because I don't want to be putting out false news. But I will say, if you jump over to, if you just Google it, like "man who shot Charlie," I mean, unfortunately, like I said, when things are unfolding, here's the guy that was being arrested at the event, breaking the man who shot Charlie at Utah. This is Nick Sorter, is reportedly in custody. The left has declared a literal war on us, Democrats, and they're about whatever. But, people were saying this is who it was. So I guess maybe they thought that's who it was. I'm not sure, but we're going to jump back over to this. So I just want to show you guys like where I got that information. I didn't just fabricate that someone had been arrested.
Protesters were stationed or set up?
Yeah, there was some that I actually have video of showing when they were screaming and yelling. And they were right above us up on the balcony. Okay. And I turned my camera and looked at them, and then looked over at the other crowd as well. One crowd was more closer to like directly in the line of where that could have came from by chance. The others were not. The others were behind him.
Yeah, hard to tell, obviously, in moments like that when the crowds are big
absolutely.
And the sounds are echoing and bouncing off. Interesting.
Also, just, keep in mind, they could show the clip of him being shot.
To note that the levels that you described there with spectators watching from a heightened vantage.
Who has more hate? someone who goes to events to say their opinions and beliefs, while people may think, well, that's a hatred opinion, that's a hate-filled belief, or someone that will take the life of someone in front of college-aged kids. My thing is like, how can you be mad at Charlie and think that he's hate-filled? And then, and I'm not even bringing politics into it, because I mean, I guess you kind of have to. I mean, because I'm not sitting here co-signing everything that somebody's going to say, but saying something, going to colleges that welcome him, they allow him to go. These colleges allow him to go. It's not like they're saying, no, you can't come here. They allow him to go. And guess what? The people that go and listen to him or talk to him, that is their choice. It is their choice if they want to go walk up and listen to what Charlie has to say and engage with Charlie. They don't have to do that. Nobody is forcing anyone to listen to Charlie Kirk. So if you don't want to listen and you think he's hate-filled, then just go about your day, go about your business. You know what I'm saying? But who is more hate-filled? Someone that goes on college campuses and, speaks publicly about what he really feels and what he really believes in, or someone that goes to an event and tries to take the life of someone in front of, literally, I watched an interview from a guy that was like, I shouldn't have had to see this. I shouldn't have had to see this. Like all the people that saw this, like I was like close and I had to see this. Like, so now all of these people are going to have PTSD. They literally just saw a man get shot. And mods, we have to be very vigilant in the chat. We want people to be able to say their opinions, but we also want people not to take it too far. So if you are taking it too far, you will be asked to tone it down. At the end of the day, this is a life. This man had children. Whether or not you thought that he was hate-filled, whatever, okay. Does he deserve to die? I don't think so.
Point as well. Taylor Birmingham, thank you so much. We appreciate you jumping on the line with us and sharing your experience. Glad you're safe, glad you're okay, and thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Senator Mike Lee posting a tweet in the last half hour saying, quote, "I am tracking the situation at Utah Valley University closely. Please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk and the students gathered there."
We're showing you kind of a repeat of a video posted on social media, and social media is lighting up right now, as you might imagine. Charlie Kirk was the scheduled speaker at UVU today. He's an American right-wing political activist, an author, a media personality. There was a lot of attention given toward this particular speech.
Yeah. It sounds like we are getting some witness accounts that we want to make sure that you're aware of. Are we going to
this up? Y'all, this is
And when he saw Charlie get shot, he said, "I've never seen anything like that in my life." And so that seems to be the same thing we're hearing from a number of other people. And as soon as he was shot, he said it appeared he was shot in his neck and then he dropped. Again, these are witness statements. These are things that we have seen, or they have seen, and they're sharing with us. None of this has been officially confirmed, so we're waiting on that. But again, Deanie, as we look at this main entrance here to UVU, what the feel is, it's quiet right now, other than you just see all of these lights. And I dare say most of those cars are empty right now. Police presence is heavy on campus right now. We'll continue and follow it. And if anything changes, we'll let you know.
Mike, we appreciate that update. And we've got another update. This is from NBC News. President Trump is posting on Truth Social just within the last few minutes. He has reported that Charlie Kirk has died. Again, we are just seeing this as we're reporting it. We got it from NBC News, but it is a report from President Trump on his Truth Social
And as
media.
That is just really some unsettling news, especially based on the accounts that we've been hearing from bystanders who were there, witnesses, students who had gone to this event just 2 hours ago, coinciding with what they saw. Reports also confirmed by AP that he was shot in the neck. Very traumatic for those people that we have been hearing from. And now to get a post from President Donald Trump stating, in fact, that 31-year-old Charlie Kirk has died.
We've been seeing all afternoon. It's a sobering update, because we've been seeing all afternoon leaders from the state, leaders from the political parties, even on the national level, sending their prayers, their concerns for Charlie Kirk and for Utah and the students and everybody who was involved in that. It's hard news to process on top of what everybody has already been through down there.
And we have been talking about UVU campus as well. Classes canceled today, campus closed, police saying that everybody needs to clear out to make sure that the campus is secure and safe. We do have our reporters who have been there on scene, and they've been talking to some folks there about their perspective about what they saw there at that event. Let's go to Jody Reynosa now. Jody, what can you tell us?
Well, it's a very solemn feeling right now. As reporters talked about before, it's quieted down here. The parking lots are very thin. You don't see, the stream of cars trying to make that egress, out of campus. A lot quieter than before. But we did see those SWAT sheriff, big vehicles coming in here to make sure things are safe or to see what they can do, figure out what they can do. We're hearing DPS helicopters overhead. I am with a high school senior from Cedar Valley High School. Kylie Stauffer joins me, and she was here. She wasn't expecting to go see Charlie Kirk. She was actually here to support Ryder, who I spoke with earlier. But we're going to go to her and see, what was that feeling like when you heard people coming out and screaming?
It's a very surreal, scary moment, not knowing what's going on with everybody around. And it's like, where are they? That's the scariest part, not knowing where they are and wondering if you guys are safe and if, everybody else is safe.
And you happen to be here to give support to Ryder, who was taking a test, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is your family, your friends?
What do you mean, Abby? Abby, you're here a lot. What do you mean? Well, at least the family can use his NRA money to cover his funeral. A man died. I don't think them being concerned about covering his funeral is going to be an issue. This man, he's dead, and it happened on national television, where his family will have to see this, where his kids, and someone's reporting, and I don't know if this is facts, but I saw people saying that his kids and his wife were there, and I don't know if that's true. For speaking how he feels. This man believed in this. This man believed with every fiber of his being what he taught. It wasn't like he didn't really believe this. He believed it the same way all of us have our beliefs, the same way we all have our beliefs, right? He had his beliefs. And he wanted to go out there and make change in the world, right? I don't think he praised that. He just believed in the Constitution and the amendment. Like, it's not like, and I do think he said that they should have stricter like background checks and things like that. I did change my title. I don't know if it's changed on the back end, but I did change it, you guys. I just can't believe it. Like, what?
And, is there a flurry of text messages coming in saying, are you okay?
So many text messages, are you okay? What's going on? I heard it on the news. A lot coming in.
What is your feeling, though? I mean, not too common that this happens around these parts.
No, it's very scary, especially it's very shock. I feel like we're all still in shock. Like, it just hasn't set in all the way because we're all just hearing everything as it's coming in.
And now hearing that Charlie Kirk has passed from this horrific shooting, what are your feelings?
Okay, so I want to read this. So Charlie Kirk, his main beliefs on gun laws include right to bear arms. He argues the Second Amendment protects an individual's right to own and carry firearms without excessive government restrictions. He's against gun control. He often says that stricter gun laws often punish law-abiding citizens, not criminals. And I believe that too. I mean, you make drugs illegal. The people that want to do drugs still do drugs. You put a sign in a school zone saying no guns allowed. Do you think? Guess who's not bringing guns? Those of us that abide the law, that are law-abiding citizens, we're not going to bring them. But guess who's still going to bring them? Those that want to go harm people. And then you have all those people on campus that somebody's now on their campus with a pew-pew and nobody can defend themselves because we ain't got them. We ain't got them. But if you put a security guard, so where I live, our schools here have an armed security guard. We have armed security guards where we live. We have at least 1 or 2 officers on campus at all times, and they have a weapon. Yes, the kids don't have them. Of course not. But guess what? Someone that wants to show up at our school and unalive someone, I mean, they're still going to do what they got to do. And guess what? If they can't find a GUN, they're going to find another way to do it. They're going to homemade BOMBS. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like criminals don't abide by laws anyways, you know? Yeah, murder is already illegal. Criminals don't care about, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I get it. Listen, I see stories of, you know, under like kids, 12, 13 years old. Their dad has a GUN in the house, and the parents are out of the house, and the kids get a hold of it, want to play with it. And one of them accidentally, you know, shoots the other one. So I get it. Like, I know someone that her 4-year-old son, she had a GUN under her front seat, and she was at Sonic. They were eating, so she let her 4-year-old get unstrapped. And he, while she was sitting in the front eating and they were in the back eating, he got under the seat, got the GUN, and playing with it, shot his little brother. The little brother was like in a car seat, little, like maybe like 2, you know. So like, I obviously, people wanting stricter laws and not wanting GUNs to fall into the wrong hands or for kids to get a hold of them and that happened. Like, I get it and I understand that, but he don't deserve to die because of his beliefs. He believed in God and the Constitution. I mean, he views gun ownership as essential for personal protection and defense against both crime and potential government overreach, which has happened.
Super sad. I don't even know what to feel at this point because it's all just happened so fast and just very sad, feel bad.
He criticized gun-free zones, claiming they make people more vulnerable because law-abiding citizens can't defend themselves. In discussions after mass, you know, he typically emphasizes cultural issues and mental health rather than the GUN as the problem.
For his family and everybody else.
Any of your actions or your path forward in your mind, has that kind of changed, or has the trajectory changed being that this happened? I mean, you're in high school. I mean, are you thinking about, okay, what precautionary measures do I need to take if I decide to go to college around here?
Yeah, it really makes you realize that like the world is very real. Like, we're not going to be protected much longer as we're in high school. Like, realizing that I need to look at things when I go to college like that and realize there's the world out there.
What are the drills like at Cedar Valley High School?
You guys, is my title not changed on the outside? Because I did change the title to say that he died, but I don't know if it's changed on the outside. It's not. Okay.
Something like this.
I don't know, just locked down in our classrooms. We actually had one a few years back, so just kind of staying put until we get there. Okay.
So you had one at the school not too long ago, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And then now this. What is your take on everything? If you could talk to the people who can't be here right now, maybe high school students across the country, what would you tell them?
That's a loaded question. Stay safe. I don't know. Just really realize there's real things out there and you need to take those precautions and keep yourself out of those harmless situations if possible.
Thank you so much, Kylie. All right, so a very solemn, quiet scene here. People are still in shock. They are just, trying to grapple with what's going on. But I will send it back to you.
I'm like, if you want to spew, if what people think that he spewed is hate, okay. But like, why not spew it back to him vocally? That's taking it to a whole nother level to shoot him and kill him and take his life. Is that not hate? Hold on. Like I said, who's more hateful? Someone spewing their beliefs or someone killing someone, especially in front of thousands of people that now will have PTSD in their lives. God knows how their lives can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one deserves this. Exactly. Like, I don't care what your political views are, left, right, center, liberal, Democrat. I don't care. Independent. I don't care. I mean, this was this man's beliefs, like, just like anybody else. Like, you have a right to say what you believe in, the freedom of speech. You have that right. And even if we think that it's hate filled or you think that it's hate filled, it doesn't mean that somebody has the right to kill you. And the fact that people can say this is flabbergasting. And I may lose subscribers over this, but I don't care. Like, if you want to unsubscribe to me because you think a man that spews hate, if your opinion is hate, okay, but that he deserves to die, well, really? So the person behind the trigger is not hateful too? Who's more hateful? We live in a society, we literally live in a society where everybody gets so butthurt by words these days. Oh, you said something that hurts my feelings, so I'm going to beat you up. You said something that hurts my feelings, so I'm going to physically do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? How about put your big girl panties on, and if somebody says something that hurts your feelings, say, you know what? I don't care. Like, your life doesn't concern me. My life doesn't concern you. How you feel about my political views doesn't concern me. It's not going to affect me the way you, Charlie Kirk, think. But will people be affected if you go to taking lives? Absolutely. This isn't just going to affect Charlie Kirk. All the people that was out there that witnessed this. All the people that witnessed this, too. His kids. Like, what? I'm flabbergasted that people can defend this. And I don't care who it was. Like I said, unless you're like a freaking pedophile, then you don't, just because you are standing on what you believe, you do not deserve to die. He did pass away. And I changed my title, but it's not changing on the back end. So it still shows he's in critical condition, but he has passed away.
To you.
Reynosa reporting live for us from the UVU campus, talking to folks there. Again, just getting the news moments ago. President Trump posting on Truth Social that Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, has died.
Yeah. We just are seeing also a post on social media from Governor Cox, who says he just got off the phone with President Trump, working with the FBI and the Utah law enforcement to bring this individual to justice after this tragedy. He and his wife, Abby, are heartbroken. Tough news. Everyone is reeling from this because it's been such a traumatic event to happen in our state, on our campus, to expose so many young people to something like this. And we all are going to be grieving this together. Let's go to this special report from NBC for a moment and see what they are reporting at that level.
Life. That someone who engaged, exercised his democratic rights, both encouraged and provoked those to share ideas, and violence has apparently taken his life, according to President Trump. Tom?
Yeah, Kelly, we have covered politics, you and I, for a while now. And I don't know if we have seen, as you described it, a season of political violence like this, starting in Butler with the assassination attempt on President Trump that came so very close, just inches away, as we all saw in the photos and the video. And as the president has described, a second assassination attempt on his life. What happened just recently in Minnesota with those lawmakers assassinated literally on their front doorstep. And now you have Charlie Kirk, who was never elected, never held office, a political activist, a young man, now shot in cold blood in front of a very friendly crowd from the eyewitnesses we have spoken to. In a very sick type of irony, Charlie's group was called Turning Point because he thought there was a turning point now in politics with President Trump and where the Republican Party had gone. And Kelly, you wonder if now in his death, there may be a turning point when it comes to politics in this country. I mean, how will political activists, any type of political speech now, happen in America, right? When you have something like this happen in a place where someone thought he was speaking to a friendly crowd.
Well, certainly it was a largely friendly crowd. I mean, Utah, which is certainly conservative, a university-based, the kind of group of followers who would know who Charlie Kirk is right off the bat, a figure who lived on their phones and in their social media, ever present in those ways. We have seen over time when there are these wrenching moments of political violence.
I would have to say, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But anybody that would take it to the extent to say, I don't like what you say. I don't like that you go out and about to preach your beliefs. So I'm going to get a gun and I'm going to unalive you. I would definitely say that's a mental situation. I would definitely say mentally you are unwell, because I feel like most people can say, you know what? I don't agree with your beliefs, but whatever. Don't affect my life. Does it keep me from my job? Does it keep me from having my family? Does it keep me from my family? Doesn't impact me, So if you want to go around talking to people, that whatever. Someone that can't take someone else having a different opinion than them, and they're going to do that, to me, that's like mental illness. I think anybody that will unalive someone surely has a mental health problem. Like, surely. Like, there's no way they don't, right? Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's mental hate, stupidity. Like it's something. It ain't normal.
Violence. There are waves of what happens. Initially, there is the shock. There is bipartisan or across the spectrum condemnation of political violence. There are inevitably questions about the availability of guns and questions of security. Obviously, our elected senior leaders have intense security around them. But on a campus, a political actor like Charlie Kirk, you would have basic security, local law enforcement, campus police, that kind of thing. You would not have the kind of screening that would prevent weapons. We're also talking about an outdoor event where you could have long range kind of ability to assess a situation on the part of a gunman or gunwoman, a shooter. And so there are so many questions to be filled out. But I think there will certainly be a moment to again address what is the place of violence. Are our politics so poisonous that people cannot control the impulse to act out? Those are societal issues. Right now, we're still in the early fact gathering. There'll be a period of acknowledging his life, those who will grieve his memory, and then what are the next steps?
Yeah. Kelly, stand by for us. I want to bring in former White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley, a friend of Charlie Kirk, who was just texting with him yesterday. And he was on the House floor moments ago during a moment of silence. Hogan, first, I am so sorry for your loss. You knew Charlie. Talk to me about what you remember about him and what this moment means right now. It is so incredibly sad for those people that were close to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, for having me. I remember working in the first Trump administration in the White House, and Charlie would come by and we would all kind of look and say, who is this kid? What does he think he's doing? He's so ambitious, and he's so talented at this young age. And we all kind of gravitated toward him. We watched what he was doing with the youth across this country, not afraid to go into hostile areas and have a debate over ideas, no violence. No,
Charlie Kirk was 31,
altercations
right?
Other than verbal, because that's what the country is all about, disagreeing. And he built a brand, he built an entity, he built a movement based on the ability to come together and have these sensible, honest conversations with statistics, with data. And just watching him do that, it was just awe-inspiring for someone like me who's been in this movement for such a long time, and to watch him at such a young age be able to capture the hearts and minds of so many across the country really was a blessing to me. I will tell you, we were texting just the other day, as you mentioned. He was supposed to go speak at my alma mater at the end of October at Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi in Oxford, and I told him I saw that he was coming, and he knew I went there. He said, "Oh, you have to come to that. We're going to have a great time." And so I was trying to plan a trip down to Oxford to be with him. And now this happens today, and I'm so sad to think of his wife and his children who were left behind after this tragedy. But I'm also filled with rage to think someone would do something like this simply for disagreeing with somebody politically. We don't know the motivations yet, but obviously they didn't like Charlie. But there's no place for political violence in this country. The shooter is grotesque, is vile, is a disgusting person. And as Kelly said, as you said, we're going to wait and see more information as it comes out. But right now, I think a lot of people are in shock. A lot of people are angry. And a lot of people are sad at what just occurred.
Hogan, you can never get in the mind of somebody who would want to assassinate a political figure, a public figure, right? Likely they have some type of issues. What was it you think about Charlie that would compel someone to do this, in the sense that he, like I said to Kelly, he was not elected. He had never held political office, but he had a huge platform, millions of followers on social media, but he's not a household name. If you're not really into politics, you likely don't know who Charlie Kirk is. And maybe even if you're not into Republican politics, you have never heard of him. We know him because we work in this space. You work with him closely, as you had said. But what do you think it was about Charlie that would have prompted somebody to do something as vile and as violent as this?
Well, there is nothing about Charlie that would, should, or could push somebody to do something like this. That is unacceptable, regardless of your thoughts of his policies or his positions. There is no excuse. There is no reason. There is no rationale for this behavior in any form or fashion. I don't care what Charlie Kirk said, what he did, no excuse for this at all. And what is so frustrating is, as the tensions in this country continue to get ratcheted up, you brought this up at the beginning of the segment. We had a former president, a candidate, dodge a bullet in reality, was shot in the ear, and then another assassination attempt was foiled. And now we have someone like Charlie Kirk as well. You mentioned not elected, true, but someone who just wanted to go on these college campuses. And as they used to be places we could share ideas and debate ideas, it seems like they've become petri dishes or cesspools for silencing and censoring voices that differ with your opinions. And so there is no reason for anyone to want to attack Charlie Kirk. There is no reason that is legitimate by any stretch of the imagination. We don't know this person. We don't know them.
Let me comment on this. Juju, Leslie, there's a whole generation of teen young adults who can't take it if you don't agree with them. They don't know how to communicate or how to agree to disagree. It's so sad and will get worse. You are so spot on, because I have seen this. I have seen 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds where you can't say, no, I disagree with you. Even if it's respectfully, even if you're like, well, no, that's not where I stand on it respectfully. You have a 20-year, you idiot. It's just like, what? I'm just saying, I don't agree with you. Calm down. I didn't slap you. You know what I'm saying? He did pass away.
Motivation, as you said. However, this is just flat out evil.
Yeah, flat out evil, and it speaks to sort of how large of a figure Charlie had become, if you will, Hogan, right? He had become someone who, when we just see that video in Utah, thousands of people had shown up.
We've been listening into NBC News special report on Charlie Kirk, confirmed by President Donald Trump on Truth Social. 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was shot and killed at the Utah Valley University State Campus earlier today at an event that was fairly a friendly crowd. As you know, if you are familiar with Charlie Kirk, he is on this America Comeback tour where he travels across the nation to different college campuses where there is debates and political discourse. And we have been getting statements from, as you can imagine, from local leaders. We want to share with you what Governor Spencer Cox has written on X. In part, it says, quote, "Working with the FBI and Utah law enforcement, we will bring to justice the individual responsible for this tragedy. We are praying for Charlie's wife, daughter, and son." And we should note UVU has confirmed they do not have a suspect in custody at this time, Deanie.
And here's a statement from President Trump. "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Those are the latest developments, even as we are still seeing troops and police officers, law enforcement going into buildings on campus. Let's check back in with Mike Hedrick to see the latest now that this information has been confirmed. Mike?
Yeah, so Deanie, again, I'm right here at the center. Anyone who knows and comes off of University Avenue comes through this area. This huge roundabout here on UVU's campus is where you go to park, and you can see all other cars have been cleared out. Look around here. You can just see a lot of flashing lights, police vehicles. I'll tell you, I tried to count, and I've never seen so many emergency crews or vehicles on a scene. There's got to be anywhere from 50 to 75 of these vehicles throughout the parking lot. And then you can multiply that by whatever number as far as the number of police and other emergency personnel who are here on scene. It's incredible, the presence. But it seems quiet on campus, other than seeing.
So someone commented this on my Facebook post about this live. Somebody said, "You cannot be a hate-filled man, someone who is okay with women dying due to pregnancy complications, someone who spreads fear about immigrants, someone okay with taking medicine and food stamps from people who need it, and still expect people to care when you get shot for being the evil person you are." Actually, a lot of people care about this man dying, and this is your beliefs of how he talked about things. The Republicans made this a us or them situation, and it's not going to be us. The Republicans made this a us. I think there's problems on both ends of this. I think we have been so divided. We have been so divided. Why? And this comment you are once again drawing division. Why not come together? Why not come together to say nobody deserves to die? Like, yeah, you can be a hate-filled man. Unless you can actually, not that I feel like he was, but you actually have the right to be hate-filled in the United States of America. It doesn't warrant your death. It doesn't. A death warrant is not signed for you if you're a hateful person, because I know plenty of them. I know plenty of hate-filled people, and you can't kill them. Sorry, unless they commit a crime, and then it's up to law enforcement. It's not up to us. I'm like flabbergasted, and I want to comment and say, actually, yeah, you can. You actually can be pretty hate-filled if you want to. I am. Wow.
All of this law enforcement here, it is quiet for the most part. They're clearing room by room many of these buildings right now, the classrooms, to make sure everyone is out, everyone is safe, and making sure that there are no other threats. As far as I have heard or talking to anyone else, it doesn't seem like there are any other active threats, but they can't take that for granted. They can't take that risk, and they need to make sure that everything is cleared before they move forward and continue on with the investigation here. Again, I've spoken to a number of people today who are right up close, probably within 15, 20 yards. I got a couple of guys right here who were actually asking questions before that final question was asked, and that's when Charlie got shot. So right now with me is Henry. Henry, I appreciate the time. You also got Ryan over here, right? So Henry, you asked a question right before the individual did after you. What did he ask, and then what happened?
So basically, he just asked questions about transgenderism, and it led into like transgender violence and shooters and stuff like that, based off of what's been happening around the country, and it's just been a problem. But I just thought it was very hard to reconcile for a while there. I think I was just in a state of shock. But the fact that it was like 10 to 20 seconds after I walked away, I turned back and I see Charlie just gushing blood from his neck. And after that, you have a random old kook who has no weapon but confesses to the shooting for some reason. And I'm not okay with that, because that took up a lot of cops that were there at the time that could have been searching for the shooter, because the shooter's at large. We don't know where he's at. They're, like you said, they're clearing room by room. And I think a lot of us are super angry. Because it's just a lot.
So you're telling me that the person, that older gentleman who we've seen video on social media, who claims to possibly have shot him, you're saying you don't believe he was the shooter?
He didn't have a gun. He didn't have a weapon on him. He just confessed to it, and they grabbed him, put him over. Because I'll tell you this, I was there about an hour and a half before the thing even started, before everyone showed up, and he was going around and talking to any conservatives and stuff, just bashing Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's this, Charlie Kirk's a racist, Charlie Kirk's blah, 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 blah. And he was just making a scene. And it doesn't surprise me. He didn't, from what I could tell, he didn't have anything on him. If they did, I don't think they would be looking for the shooter, because they would, if it was him, they would have the weapon with him, but it wasn't there. So that's the whole thing.
And you've heard since in the last moments, President Trump sent out as well on social media that he passed away.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had a friend actually who just sent me a message. There are a bunch of friends who've seen me already on the news and stuff have been messaging me, telling me like, yeah, dude, he didn't make it. And I think me and Ryan and a whole bunch of us are just fed up with it. We don't know. There's stuff that needs to happen. It needs to change. Opinions shouldn't lead to shootings. I'm sorry.
I think most people would probably agree with that.
Yes,
you
sir.
Hope so, at least.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Henry. Ryan, let me talk to you a little bit, and you can stay here as well, Henry, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Talk to me about where you were. Were you two together when this happened, or where were you standing?
No, I was about 50 feet away. I was in the thick of the crowd. I was working my way up to the stand to ask Charlie some questions. At that moment that the shot rang out, I look over and I see Charlie Kirk slump over for just a split second, and the crowd just pushes back. There's a huge stampede pushing back. People are jumping into the fountain. People are running towards the building. I stuck around, tried to stay away out of everybody's way, pulled out my phone, started to take some video. I got down there closer to the stand, and there was very little police presence. However, at that time, I believe that was when they had taken Charlie away. That's when they had already taken the alleged suspect away. But as Henry mentioned, with that suspect, we were talking to somebody from Deseret News who said they recognize this individual, and he goes to political events. He goes to a lot of events with news and with media, and he tries to
Store contention.
Yep, he tries to gain attention, tries to take credit for what's going on, and here he is jumping up right after the shot, saying he did it. So that's really concerning to know, and I mean, hence the police presence that we see here today. It looks like they have not apprehended the actual shooter.
Did you see the shot fired?
I didn't. It did sound like it came from the right side of me, and I tried to look, but I was getting pushed back by the crowd. I was talking to a professor who works here, and he said with the view that anybody could have had of Charlie, it could have been from 200 yards away. So I think that's why we're seeing drones in the air. That's why we've got helicopters in the air. We have a SWAT response. We're seeing snipers.
Same. I mean, exactly. Well, my thing is, after what happened with President Trump, if I was going to go around doing political events, I definitely would have there would have been a bulletproof guard around me. Like nobody would have been able to get to me. I would have been protecting myself.
So I think they're still trying to figure out really where the shot came from.
Last thing I'll ask you, you described the chaos. What were you feeling and thinking in the middle of that chaos immediately after shots were fired?
I was thinking there is no way that this can be real. Being here in Utah, where it's relatively safe, at UVU campus, where there's a lot of like-minded individuals, you always hear people say you never think it's going to happen to you. I have a different mindset. I think of always being prepared, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I hope that everybody who's seeing this event unfold, I hope that this is their call to action, to speak up, to stand out, to make change, because this is unacceptable. We can't live like this.
And I'll ask you, we've heard this.
I don't know what's even crazier is Tyler Baltier from Teen Mom was actually live on Instagram. And I was in his live. I was trying to record it. He was talking about homeschooling versus public school. And he put up a video about how, it was just a clip. He put up a clip from him and Kate's podcast where he said he thinks parents that homeschool are doing it because they're biased and they want to teach their kid, their way. And it got him a lot of flack. So he went live on Instagram. And as he was live on Instagram, somebody asked him, "Do you like Charlie Kirk?" So crazy. And he was like, "No, I don't like Charlie Kirk." Literally 30 minutes later, it comes out that Charlie Kirk is dead, or that he got shot. Like, literally, people's in the comments section talking about Charlie Kirk. Some saying they don't like him. Some saying they do like him. This was before word even got out that he was shot, or maybe even before he was shot. I just thought, and then I'm like watching Tyler's live, like interacting, and someone comes in and says, Charlie Kirk was just shot. And I'm like, no way. There's no way that's true. So I went and looked it up, and sure enough, it was true. And I thought, that is so wild that we were just talking about Charlie Kirk and now he's been shot.
This a lot from people about there needs to be a change, from people who were there on campus. We hear this from politicians as well. What is that change? What's going to change somebody from doing something like this?
Like we were speaking to a teacher earlier, and he was talking about how practically the entire university, the chair, the president, the chair, no one was informed. No one was informed that that there was not going to be enough security or anything. Some people were in class not even knowing Charlie was coming. I don't think that's okay, especially after what happened in Butler in Pennsylvania with President Trump and all this stuff. We know that this violence exists, and we all know that.
I haven't really been paying attention, so I don't think it showed it, but it may show it. It may show the shot. So I just want you all to be aware.
Had a lot of progressives come into the state, and with the same old rhetoric that leads to instances like this. And I think it's the rhetoric of people saying like, "Oh, well," like we saw people that were smiling when it happened. We saw people that were like, "Oh, good shot." All from this certain group of people.
That's not right.
Wow.
Both of you, thank you very much. I appreciate taking the time. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your stories and your eyewitness accounts. So thank you.
Yes.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
So, Dainty, as we kind of wrap up that conversation, it's very similar to a lot of other people we spoke with. It's really a surreal situation that happened here. Conservative Town, USA. That's really what this.
I've been riding this trail a long time. I remember when agents, they didn't know the left hook from the right. Some are too eager jumping in before I'd finish speaking. Others promised to wrangle code.
Idiot.
Ended up letting the
Still trying to.
I've watched the shot, and I watched it from far away and up close, and it is very disturbing. It is. And I wish I wouldn't have watched it.
To figure out exactly what happened. So we hope to get some of those answers at some point today, but I think it may take a while. Back to you.
It's disturbing to even hear that kind of testimony and those kind of interviews from students, from young people who had to witness that kind of stuff.
Again, if you are just joining us, President Trump confirmed on a post on Truth Social, Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, has died after being shot at an event held at Utah Valley University just a couple of hours ago. And I just wanted to read a little portion of that post from President Trump, where he says, quote, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us." And President Trump also added, "Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family." And also we are getting a statement from Senator Mike Lee from Utah, who had posted, "Charlie Kirk was an American patriot, an inspiration to countless young people to stand up and defend the timeless truths that make our country great. This murder was a cowardly act of violence, an attack on champions of freedom like Charlie and the students who gathered."
So as police on campus continue escorting people out of buildings and off campus, they continue to tell people to shelter in place until they can be escorted off, and presumably they continue to look for the suspect. We're just trying to bring you updated information as we can see it coming.
In the video, there were people around, like he was sitting in the middle of where you could see him. In the video that we were watching, you could see people on the outside, probably his security. But I would just why not have a bulletproof glass in front of you? I don't know.
Out. One of the latest bits that we've seen is an update from the University of Utah. They are open, but they did issue a safety alert encouraging people to be extra precautious, but then to also recognize that they have extra security on campus for the events all this week. Let's go to Andrew, who is also on campus. Andrew, you've been talking to people all day. What have you got at your location?
Well, actually, I just wanted to give you a quick scene setter of what we're looking at, because as this situation is getting sorted out and they're going room to room, we're seeing some swift movement over here just south of the Vigil Gateway building, which is directly south of where the shooting took place. And so you see that this Jeep that is speeding off here, it looked like a few guys dressed in fatigues getting into that vehicle and heading off quickly. Just before that, we saw I would call it a Bearcat-like truck. I don't know if that's the actual description. It also took off in a hurry. Just prior to that, we saw people in SWAT gear as we're just looking at that vehicle exiting. We did see some swift movements. We saw some police running south, but at the same time, we saw some people rushing into the Gateway building. Again, they're in the process of clearing campus. So walking and going place to place, that can be expected, but we just saw law enforcement rushing to a different location unknown to us. And so that makes you wonder exactly what is going on with those people right now. But just wanted to give you an idea of the situation, that it is continuing to evolve here with the police response. And again, just resetting, if you're just tuning into us, we saw several SWAT people get in vehicles and book it that way, and then up out toward the south end of campus. So we don't know exactly where they are going. Just prior to that, though, and this, I just want to point you this way, as you see, well, between the trees, you might be able to see the legs of a SWAT officer rushing in toward this building. We've seen a lot of attention on the Vigil Gateway building, which is what this is, again, directly south of the shooting area. And so presumably going in to clear it, but we don't know if there is anything more pressing than that in this building. But again, in a larger scale process of clearing the entire campus, can't imagine how a grueling of a process that is, understanding how many rooms there are on a college campus where as many as 50,000 students go to school. It's just wild. But
take you guys over to Twitter really quickly. Gray says Charlie Kirk was never hateful. He was never blaming others. He was always willing to hear out young people's thoughts, and he respectfully and thoughtfully responded with what was usually the reality that young people conveniently ignore and had never even considered. RIP. We must politicize Charlie Kirk's unaliving. His message 3 hours ago was his last. Children left fatherless and a widow born tragically. I pray his family finds light in the dark world. I'm scared really to show too much of anything shown on here because I don't know what it shows. I want to go back to that picture. Got a weird feeling that the Charlie Kirk unaliving will be another JFK scenario where we never really know who did it. Something was going on behind the scenes. This is horrible. No matter how much we disagree with someone, I would never wish them dead or unalive them. Wow, I can't believe the mentality out there. Anyone that thinks that should be ashamed of themselves, change your ways. Charlie Kirk news got me sick. This was, I think this was, yeah, right before it. A group of people want to take ownership for that? I'm sure. I wouldn't want to. If I was aligned with, a political party that was taking ownership for that, for unaliving somebody, I'd be like, then I stand by myself because nope, ain't got nothing to do with that. This is what I wanted to find. Still can't believe Charlie Kirk is dead. We failed him with our violence. May his soul escape the cruelty that ended his life and finally find peace. Wow. Wow. Honestly, Destiny, a lot of people are scared to say, like, on my channel, like, I don't really bring politics into it. I mean, for one thing, it's a reality TV channel, a celebrity gossip channel, trending topics channel. And I feel like people may come to my channel to get away from like that kind of stuff and just enjoy their reality gossip, So like I don't really bring it up. And even though I don't bring it up, I've literally there was somebody not too long ago that commented on my page and was like, it's pretty obvious you're conservative, so I'm unsubscribing to you. And I'm like, I respect anybody's political views. I would like for mine to be respected, but I don't even bring it. It's not a topic on this page. I mean, when they shot Trump, I did go live, not because it was to bring politics into it, but just humanity. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, wow, we have to stand against this. I can't believe this is happening. And if it was anybody, any big public figure, political, whatever, like I would probably cover it, but you really do have to be scared to say who you support this day and age. And that doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't. When they find the person or persons who is responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk, they need to be publicly the unaliving of Charlie Kirk will increase political violence. The next few months will be very bloody. Charlie Kirk is in glory, for his last breath here was his first breath with the Lord. Charlie confessed with his mouth the Lord Jesus, and Charlie believes in his heart God raised him from the dead. I've never been in such shock. Charlie Kirk killed in this fashion. Holy crap, I can't imagine seeing it in person. It's horrific. It's horrific. What I find pretty wild is what they were in the middle of, what he was talking about at the time. If you do watch it, they were talking about shootings. Like, how many shootings do you think is the trans community is responsible for, and how many just in totality, like shootings in totality, and then how many like the trans community are responsible for? And I think Charlie Kirk said like even one is too many for anybody, like so. Well, my thing is like I try to keep politics out of it. I just talk about reality TV. But if somebody feels like they think they know where I lean and they want to unsubscribe from me when I don't even talk about it outside of like, I guess right now, I guess you could say that I kind of am, then, oh, well, it is what it is. Unsubscribe because you are literally not, you're not accepting, you don't allow people to have their opinions. You
That
just want everybody to agree with you,
That's what we've just been seeing in the last few minutes. We'll toss it back to the studio, try and see if we can get some more information at some point.
All right, Andrew Adams reporting live from UVU campus for us with that update. Thank you.
We appreciate just the updated information and seeing that this is still, UVU has reported this is still an unfolding situation. We're seeing that. Police dogs still on campus, officers still speeding to different places. We don't know what the latest developments are, but we will keep you posted. And that's why we keep checking in with our various reporters who are in different spots on campus. Let's check in with Dan Rascone. Dan, any movement on your end of campus?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing out here on our end also. We're along University Avenue here and also I-15. You can see officers just behind me here. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but they're trying to get out of the way as far as getting over the curb here and flipping themselves around so they can race off to another area. So I'm not exactly sure where these officers are going, but they seem to be heading down towards I-15. That's basically the northbound lanes there of I-15. We see another one racing off right there. So something must be going on where we could obviously see officers jumping in the vehicles right here. And as you see, here we go. Another car that's going to be heading kind of the entrance here. This is the entrance to northbound I-15 along basically right next to the UVU. So I don't know if maybe there's somebody that's been found or the possible shooter that's been located or what happens there. But again, we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of SWAT members also running across campus to a variety of different areas. But you can just give you a little bit of a picture here. If you were to come off of I-15 here and University, you could see, and then you start heading basically towards UVU, just all this police force right here in this area. And then as we kind of flip around here, it's just completely congested here. And then we go all the way to where that roundabout is, kind of where Mike Hedrick is. And that's where you see all of the congestion there with all of the police officers and all of the agencies from a variety of different places. But again, as everybody's been kind of mentioning here, suddenly we're starting to see a lot of activity as far as.
Same. When I saw all that blood, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is, I really felt like there's no way he can survive this. But then I was also like, maybe he can. Like, I'm just gonna be hopeful, that he will. That the news that we'll get is that like he made it. But when I saw it, I was like, this cannot, like, there's no way.
Officers racing off to different locations. What's interesting though is that we saw some officers going this way. Now we see these officers coming our way here. So again, we're not really exactly sure what's happening, but apparently there's some.
I do wonder, though, if the guy that they arrested was like a decoy to give the other guy time to get away, because they were saying they apprehended someone and you saw the picture of that older man, but then it wasn't him. So I do wonder if he was just a decoy so the shooter was able to get away.
A lot of activity as far as officers try to get to a variety of different locations right now, but the stories have just been horrendous to be able to hear some of these students describe exactly what they saw out there. We've been hearing all day long here, one story after another about the trauma that they experienced as they saw Charlie get shot there. Many of them describing in detail kind of what happened, where the bullet hit, the blood that they saw. So many of these students are saying it's going to be difficult to get back to campus here. And that's going to be one of the big questions here.
Wow.
Is trying to get back to campus and trying to get back to reality again as far as getting back to their studies. This is an experience that many of these students told us time and time again that they will never forget, that this is something that they'll never forget in a lifetime. And so very sad, very tragic what happened here, very upsetting. But again, a lot of police activity kind of happening here and there behind us. Another vehicle here, another city police officer from Orem trying to get out to get to another location. So again, we're just seeing this kind of spread out as far as officers trying to get to different locations. If we can find
It makes me feel sick. Does anybody else feel sick to their stomach?
anything out as to what's happening out here, we'll of course bring you the latest. Dainty, back to you.
Yeah, great job out there, Dan. And we just appreciate the perspective as we unfold and learn more details. And to that end, we just got a statement from Utah Valley University, still offering a phone number to students or anyone who might still be on campus if they need a police escort out. So as recently as within the last few minutes, they're encouraging people to call a number so they can get escorted out of a building or off campus. And that is an active situation for people who are still on the campus.
And Dainty, we are continuing to get reaction basically from the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm just receiving one here from State Senator Mike McKell here from Utah, who posted on X, Charlie Kirk was a father, a husband, a family member, and a friend to many. This violence needs to stop. I'm praying for his family. This loss is immense. Well, let's go check back in with Daniel Woodruff, who is also there on the UVU campus for us. Daniel.
Yeah, so we're on the west side, and if you look just over there, that is where the shooting of Charlie Kirk happened. You see a tent. On the outside, it says, "Prove Me Wrong." That was the name of his tour, and he was speaking in that tent on a chair. We've seen from videos on social media, and there were people on those bleacher-type areas watching and listening when the shots rang out. We've seen police officers over there. In fact, a little bit ago, an interesting sight, there is a walkway, a sort of a sky bridge just before the tent, and we saw a number of SWAT officers running. And that's kind of lines up with what Dan has reported and Mike, that there seems to be this activity on campus as there is confusion and uncertainty about exactly where the shooter is or shooters. We don't know a lot of information. As we know, UVU initially said a suspect was in custody, and now reports from NBC News and others say that a suspect is not in custody. And so some of us in the media have been just talking among ourselves about wondering about, where we're located and what else might be going on here on campus. I also want to have my photographer pan off to the right there. You can see in the parking lot, directly to the south of where we are, a number of law enforcement officers. I don't know what agency they're from, but they were just patrolling the far west part of campus. And that is something that we have seen more and more of, these uniformed and well-armed law enforcement officers that have been coming to this area to walk around and go toward the area where the shooting took place. We've also been hearing from people who, in fact, let's look over at the building there. It looks as if law enforcement officers are actually escorting some people out of the building there. It looked to me like they were students, but we've been told that UVU has given people a number to call if they were still on campus. People have been told to shelter in place, and I'd like to actually run over and see if I can talk to them. So I'll send it back to you for right now, guys.
Okay, Daniel Woodruff reporting from us, UVU. Obviously a very fluid situation. As we were looking at Chopper 5 footage too, showing the police presence there, as we've been telling folks at UVU, the campus is closed and they are escorting people off campus.
And
let's go ahead.
And that's actively happening as we see it. Okay, yeah, see, we are seeing law enforcement in what looks like tactical gear escorting people off campus, I can't tell if they're going into a building or out of one, but they're still a clear presence on the campus, and they are still issuing phone numbers from the university that if you need to be escorted out, stay sheltered in place until someone comes in to get you out and off campus. And it looks like they're going into that building, just to either carry some of that out or to investigate. Yeah, there's still ongoing information that we don't have, but things happening on campus.
And we've been getting different perspectives from our reporters who are fanned out across the campus there. Let's check back in with Alex Cabrero. Alex, tell us where you are and what you've been able to witness right now.
Yeah, we are right at the main entrance to UVU, just off the main highway right here by the Chevron station. And you've seen it from Mike's vantage point and my colleague Dan Rascone, police officers pretty much everywhere. But we just came over here really quickly because we saw a whole bunch of police officers in that tactical gear making their way to this section here. We see a couple of ambulances as well, full lights on and everything. Still waiting for official confirmation on exactly what is happening at this point. But I can tell you, as I know many of us have been saying, there are police cars from agencies not only in Utah.
Yes, Destiny. I wish I could play what was said. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get it up on my phone, the question that was being asked, because I was like, that is so odd that when this question was being asked, a question about shootings, that's when they, somebody takes him out.
Utah County, but Salt Lake County. This is where the cooperation comes in. This is where you see a lot of police training as well. When they do their tactical training, when they enter buildings, when they search for suspects, what they're doing now isn't brand new to these officers. This is something that they constantly train for. They've trained at places like UVU in the past. I know we've done at least one story on some of the training methods that they do. Now it's just a matter really of trying to find the person who did this. We keep hearing that suspect right now is still not in custody. And so where is that person? That's what kind of ratcheted things up here, I'd say, in the past hour or so, simply because first we heard that a suspect was in custody. People seemed calm, seemed relaxed. But when they started hearing that, no, they're still looking for something, that's where a lot of people started saying, well, they look around, you could see them, and just like, well, where might that person be? Is that person still here? That's why police officers, there are dozens and dozens and even more police officers out here just trying to keep things as safe as possible, and also escort those students that are still sheltering in place in some of these buildings, bringing those students outside, getting them out to their cars, to waiting loved ones, to friends, so that they can continue on their way. But right now, campus still is officially closed. No classes today. Now it's just a matter of waiting for.
I think it's like, y'all ain't even call it the shooter. Like, I've been like in my phone looking at stuff too, trying to like make sense of all of this, and like my family's talking about it in our group chat. The school should be on lockdown. Did they say the school's on lockdown? I mean, I know it's a college, but I would be like locked down.
For a press conference or some type of an official statement from UVU. I know that some of the people involved in public communications and such, not only with UVU, but with different agencies here, they're kind of chatting right now in one of the buildings, figuring out how they're going to release information, how they're going to do that. Of course, when we get that, we'll certainly pass that on to you. But again, right now, it's just a matter of waiting for official confirmation on what happened exactly. Where is there a suspect? Do they have any information on the suspect? If they're asking people for any descriptions or anything like that, we're hoping to get some of that information soon, and when we get it, we'll certainly air it so that people will have the latest information that they can have for themselves.
Alex, we appreciate your hard work. I know the questions that you're posing are a lot of questions that our viewers have as well. And as Alex mentioned, there is going to be a press conference there at the UVU campus at 4 o'clock, and hopefully they can shed some light. But as we talked to former law enforcement earlier, this is going to be an investigation days, weeks ahead. So
any pictures of him with his family is just, oh my goodness. His wife is beautiful, beautiful.
Just a note, 4 p.m., which is going to happen here within the next 30 minutes or so. We should hopefully learn a little bit more, as that suspect is still at large.
Yeah, and in the circumstances of that, we're also seeing.
All right, so here's the question. Wait, no, that's not it. Hold on. I'm going to find the video to play the question that was being asked. Okay. Oh.
That there has been no.
Dude, I literally didn't want to watch it. I was just going to, but it was literally a millisecond clip, and it was only exactly what he said the millisecond before and then the shot. So I literally just saw it again. I don't want to see that. I only want to play you guys the question. Hold on. How did I get muted? I don't know. I guess I tapped it by accident. So he asked, the guy that was talking to him said, do you know how many trans Americans have been mass shooters over the past 10 years? And Charlie said, too many. And he said, do you know how many Americans, just regular Americans, have been mass shooters over the past 10 years? And he said, counting or not counting gang violence. And that's when the shot happened. Very... makes me wonder, like, was that person asking the questions? Was the shoot, did the guy that's behind it, did he just know. Like, I'm going to wait for a question that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? To go, like, I don't know.
Of a vigil tonight, 7 o'clock for Charlie Kirk at the Utah State Capitol Rotunda. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people witnessed this. Many people just are shocked by this information and that it happened here in Utah. And so there is a chance here to go.
Wait, the shooter is on Instagram? Have they found the shooter?
Connect with people and to talk about it and to show your respects tonight at a vigil, 7 o'clock at the Capitol. Let's go to news specialist Jody Reynosa, who is on campus. Jody, what are you seeing from your vantage point?
So we've moved locations from the Wolverine Services, which is the testing center, and we're in between the Clark building and the Liberal Arts building. Right here is Fulton Library, and we are seeing that heavy police presence. In fact, we've had SWAT teams, guns in hand, just, trickling in and out of buildings. At one point, I saw in front of the Fulton Library about 20 SWAT members heading into the library. So it is all hands on deck for law enforcement. I did talk to a member of the SWAT team just briefly, and he said, our directive is basically to go through all of the buildings and make sure that either people are out, or if they can't get out, they're sheltered in place. He said, we're seeing teams from Salt Lake, from Orem, from Provo, the SWAT, as I mentioned before. Now, unfortunately, it was a date gone wrong for a student that I'm next to, Nick Ekman. He was so excited to see Charlie. And, he's so sad about this news. Tell us, what were you feeling? What were you seeing when all of this happened?
Yeah, honestly, the fact that it just happened all quickly, and when it just happened,
I don't think they need to be hosting no vigil until this guy's arrested. I mean, honestly,
like everything just went crazy. People started running, screaming, shouting, yelling. People didn't know if it was them next. And honestly, for me, I was worried that, I came to see a guy, but this guy was a family man. He had kids. I loved what he was talking about and bringing up that dialogue. And so honestly, my whole purpose in being here and coming today was just to learn a little bit more. And the fact that it ended so quickly, so fast in that way, it scared me because I felt like, what's going on? Like, what does this mean? What does this mean for like students like me? Like, we can't engage in dialogue without, or even come to a place where we can engage in dialogue. Absolutely did not expect it, wasn't prepared for it mentally and emotionally, even physically, still shaking. A lot of people were shaky. They're like, seeing stuff happen that way was insane.
The interesting thing is you came specifically to see him. You are not even a UVU student, you're a BYU senior, and you came here for him. So the fact that all of this unfolded the way it is, or way it did, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, he decided to come to UVU, and I really didn't care. My friends really didn't care. We wanted just to come see him, so we were willing to make the travel plans. I had a buddy.
sorry for the commercials, guys. I don't even know, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just so shocked over this. Like, I feel like when I was little, I would have never imagined that we would get to a world, and maybe, maybe back then we were in the type of world, and I was just oblivious to it, to where people could not say how they felt and their opinions without being attacked or lose their jobs, or, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to watch his last few posts. Devastating.
Everybody, you've probably heard the situation that happened in North Carolina.
And I don't know what his story is going to be. I just went to his Instagram, and I just kind of want to see what he was last talking about.
Name Irina Zarutska. Irina Zarutska was just riding public transit. By the way, she was a refugee from Ukraine, of all places, and she came to Charlotte, North Carolina. And a terrible person. Well, you saw what happened. I can't describe it here on TikTok without some sort of community guideline being violated. But if you haven't seen the video, you absolutely should. This individual should not have been on the streets, 14 prior arrests. And it really makes you wonder, why are we putting up with this? Why are we allowing so many people that have committed these crimes to keep on being released? The magistrate judge continued to release this individual. And this is a horrific thing. It's really interesting. The media was totally covering George Floyd, tens of thousands of articles, reconfigured and changed the entire American body politic. Yet when it came to Irina Zarutska, the entire media was quiet, silent. In fact, we forced them to cover the story. Why do you think that is?
It's very important. We must then articulate, what does it mean to be a nation? In English, it is the 3 Ps. It is people, it is principles, and it is place. You remove one of the three.
This last post.
Pregnant.
Oh, you don't happen to get pregnant. It's like not like getting COVID.
I know how
okay?
it works.
I don't know if I should play, some of his debates with people. I don't know for sure if his wife was there. I saw, people in the chat said they thought that his wife was there, but I don't know for sure. So I don't want to say that his wife was there or not. But his wife did make a post on X around noon today. Does anybody know exactly what time he was shot? Because I don't. I think it was. I know when I heard it. I know about what time it was when I heard it, but 5 hours ago, Psalms 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalms 34:8, oh, taste and see the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who my heart breaks for her, man. Wow, man. I didn't know she gave speeches. Well, I didn't know she even gave speeches. Yeah, I don't know this to be true, so I don't know. And it's so hard, when you see something like you'll see like a Twitter post and you're like, I don't know who this is coming from. So I don't know for sure if his son, daughter, any of them were there. I pray to God they were not there and they did not have to witness this because, I'm traumatized over seeing the video. I can't even imagine if his kids were there. This is just disgusting, you guys. This is just horrible. When I started this live, he was in critical condition and someone had been apprehended. And now, obviously, he's been pronounced dead. And there's been no arrest as to who is behind the shooting. I don't know. I guess we'll continue to keep up with this. I don't know if the news, if they're going to continue to follow this. I'm sure they will, but on a live.
Like for fun, just to see. We don't really care like about Charlie Kirk, but like, you know what I mean? Just go, and just to be there, and it was good. Like it was really fun, but just like, it's just crazy that chaos just happened so quickly. And that's kind of all. I don't know.
Do you have second thoughts about going to something like this in the future?
I don't know. Yeah, a little. Like it's pretty traumatizing, but I don't know. This doesn't really happen. Like he's gone to colleges all over the world, and it's just crazy that it happened at my college. You know what I mean? Like I just signed up to go here, just enrolled, and it's crazy to see that like the one thing that I go to, something has to happen, and it's just horrible. But I don't know.
Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts. So as we just heard, a traumatic experience for them and for, students here that they know. And the fact that this shooter is at large is very, very scary. So as we have information continue to.
There is a press conference. Let me see what time that press conference will start. We'll watch the press conference, but I don't know what time it's going to start. So I don't know if I should end this live and do another one specifically for the press conference so the two don't get. What do you guys think? Should I do one just for the press conference? It's at 4. So in 4 minutes. What's almost 5 here? He was so young. Yep. I'm thinking about ending this one to come back just to cover the press conference. So, well, nope, I see them setting up. Hold on. think I'm a little behind. All right, here we go. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it because I don't know if I'll have time to. I don't know. Really don't know if I'm gonna have time to. It looks like it started some places. Are we just behind here?
You're saying that you work for KSL? Yeah. News Radio? Yeah, I did too. Did you? Yeah. I'm Sage.
A lot of times these press conferences, you can't hear them that well.
There's no more box.
And I usually will screen record and increase the audio.
Is he still vice president? I know him from his other job, so I just didn't know if he was or if it was President Jimenez.
How long ago did you work at KSL? It was my first journalism job. Oh yeah. I was like in 2019, from like 2018 to like 2020. Wow. And then I went to the Trib and then KU.
I don't know if I should cancel it and redo another one.
I've only been there about a year and a half, so I don't have a lot of history behind it. No, you've seen a lot though.
I mean, it looks like they're obviously preparing for it, but
Probably not that far.
I don't know if I'll have time to get ready for it.
I met you.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, same. I feel sick, y'all.
Yeah, actually, you probably absolutely did. Yeah. Okay, good. This one.
Oh, I feel sick over this.
Nobody's here. No, I don't want to start
I have
rolling.
extra battery.
I'm just scared to roll and then like walk away and then die.
I just use my cell phone to screen record. I don't use an app. Just like regular iPhone to screen. On my computer, I use the snipping tool. I think I'm trying to make a thumbnail really quickly, and I think I might come back for the press conference. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to make another live just for the press conference so people know that that lady is probably who knows. I thought you said why is the lady standing at the podium? I was going to say they're probably just like messing with the mic and stuff, but I'm going to end this one out, build up another live just for the press conference. So you guys bear with me, and I will have this scheduled in maybe. Give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You guys hit that thumbs up. I know this is not, we don't want to thumbs up what happened, but just for the algorithm, but we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes. Join us back here for the press conference. Bye guys.